Hello, Year 5, and welcome to another week of maths videos with me. I was looking this week, I realised this is the 14th week of lockdown curriculum that we have sent out. You are doing fantastically. You need to know that. Keep going. I hope these videos are helpful, and I'm glad you're watching them, some of you, and I hope they're helping you to do some really good maths in your houses. This week we're looking at division, okay? And we have to remember, every time we think about division, we remember it is how many fitting into something, okay? So how many of something fits into another number? That's what we're finding out when we're doing division, all right? And we need to remember that all the time. And today we're going to try to do short division, all right? Which is actually, I think, one of the simplest ways of division, but we need to remember we are finding out how many fit in. Okay, and that's important. We've done lots of different sorts of division. We've done chunking, we've just done counting on, you know, when you were in year 3 or year 4 or something, you probably did some of that. But today we're going to do short division. And the way this video asks us to do it is that you're supposed to notice it breaks the numbers up quite nicely. So it feels a bit like chunking, but it's still laid out like the short division. This is sometimes we call it the bus stop method, even though this doesn't really look like a bus stop. But let's have a look, okay? So hopefully you will see this, all right? And it says here that they want to make it a bit less confusing, all right? So we're going to do one number at a time, okay? And with division, unlike any other number, any other multiplication, addition, subtraction, all of that malarkey, we start on the left, the biggest, the most significant digit, the one that's worth the most. So in this case, it's 5 hundredths, all right? And we're going to ask ourselves, how many times does 3 fit into 5? We're actually asking how many times does 3 go into 500, because we're going to write the number in the hundreds column, but we can do it to say how many times it goes into 5. And you should know this. I think you're very clever. It's not very hard, okay? You might find that the answer is 1, all right? But we know there are some left over. So with our short division, we put our little 2 here because it goes in once. 3 goes into 5 one time. Yeah? 3. No more will fit into 5. But there are 2 left over to 5, so we have to do that. And what's happened there is that we said there are 100 3s in 5. Okay? And that will leave us 200 remaining. 100 3s is 300. 200 left over to 500, okay? So that's what's going on. We're finding out how many fit in, but it's nice and easy, okay? So we keep going because we're just seeing how many 3s go into 5, all right? And then we move on, all right? But this time we've got 240, or because we don't need to worry about our units column at the moment, we're going to say 24. How many 3s fit into 24? Now that might involve you actually doing a 3 times table on your fingers, or you might just know it because you're really clever. Hopefully you're thinking about it now. How many 3s fit into 24? 8 3s fit into 24. And remember, we don't need any remainders for that one because it's exact. And it goes in the tens column because actually we found out that 3 goes into 240 80 times. Okay, that's how many 3s fit into 240, but we just did it into 24 because it makes life easier. And then finally, we've got the last number. Remember, we were finding out how many 3s fit into 547. So we're just going to find out how many 3s fit into 7. You know my noisy guinea pigs in the background. Apologies for them. How many 3s fit into 7? All right, we're going to think about that. You should, again, be able to do that. Hopefully, you know it's 2, and there is 1 left over. Okay, so we're going to write remainder 1 to start with. Now, later, we're going to come back to this sum, and we're going to think, how could I turn that into a fraction? Okay, but remember, all right, we said 3s into 5, 1, remainder 2. 3s into 24, 8 times, no remainder, nice and round. 3s into 7, it goes twice, 3, 6, that's how many times it fits in, but it goes in twice, and there's 1 left over, okay? Now, listen carefully. The most common error people will make is they'll put a 6 here, okay? Or they'll put a 3 here, all right? Because they'll say, well, 3s into 5 goes once, it's 3. So they write their little 3. Remember, don't do that. At the top here, you're only writing down how many times it fitted in, okay? That's really important. That's the most common error that I see with year 5 division, is that instead of writing it went in twice, 3 goes in twice, they write 6 because 6 is the multiple of 3. that is just less than 7. That's a tricksy thing to keep an eye out for, okay? But watch out for it, all right? Here's another sum, okay? A bigger sum, all right? 4 digits, hello. 1,381 divided by 6, okay? So we're going to do the same thing, all right? They've given us a little clue, which is quite nice, okay? Because they know that 206s is 1,200, okay? And they know that 306s is 1,800 because 2 times 6 is 12 and 3 times 6 is 18. So somewhere, the answer, this is a bit of an estimate, but the answer is going to lie between 200 and 300. You don't have to worry about that too much today, but it's worth thinking about sometimes. What's my answer going to be roughly, so that when we get it wrong, if we get it wrong, we can keep an eye out for it. All right, but there we go. Look at it. It's beautiful. We've got our bus stop, okay, and we've got our numbers ready to go. All right, and again, I think they're going to be friendly, and they're going to put these nice little post-it notes, okay, because we do one column at a time, and you can see straight away this first column is very easy, girls and boys, because we're asking how many times does 6 go into 1? None. Okay, no times at all, so we can just leave that, move on, okay. Then we're saying we could, if we wanted to, carry the 1 here, but they're being a bit lazy, really. I think we should, okay, to make 13, but they're not. They're just saying it's straight away 13. How many 6s into 13? In your bed? Yeah, you shouting at me? 2, all right, with 1 left over. So we get this sneaky one here, isn't it? 2 6s is 12, 1 left over if we're going to 13. But remember, it's 2. I don't write 12 in here, only 2, because that's how many 6s fit in. Then, how many 6s into 18? Ah, a round one. Very good. Okay. Yeah, 3, well done. Okay, no remainders, very nice. And remember, we're actually thinking into 180. 6 goes into 180 30 times. 6 goes into 1,300 200 times. Now remember, just remember, we left this blank because it didn't go into the thousands column once. Okay, not once at all. So if we want to, we can put a 0 here. We don't have to. Okay, so last one, we've got 1 left over. How many times does 6 go into 1? We've already done this. The answer is none. But this time we have to write a 0. Okay, otherwise we'll get the answer wrong. We'll say it's 23, remainder 1. It's not. It's 230, remainder 1. All right. Now, here's the question. That's 2 sums. You're going to have a go at this today. Yeah, I think you can do that, team. All right. But here's the challenge. How do we make this so that instead of seeing these remainders, we're going to see a fraction? Do you remember how? Okay, I'll tell you. What we've got here is if we divide 1 by 3, that's what we need to do. All right, we've got this 1 left over, and we're doing it. We're going to say what's 1 divided by 3. We could carry on. We could put a decimal place and put a 1 here, blah, 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 blah. Now, we can't do that. So instead, we're going to do a fraction. And actually, if we remember, I've said a few times this year that a division sum is a fraction. A fraction is a division sum. So we're going to get rid of that, and I'm going to have a go at writing on the screen now. Here we go. This is where it gets exciting, because we can take our remainder, which was 1, and put it on top of our fraction. There's 1. Then we put our fraction line, and then we take our divisor, the thing we are dividing by. I'm sorry about the color. The thing we are dividing by, and we can put it at the bottom of the fraction. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at that amazing writing, girls and boys. I'm so clever. So we can see the answer is 182 1/3. All right. If you look in your learning reminders on today's maths work, and probably tomorrow's too, but on today's maths work, there's a good, it shows you this, and it reminds you that the remainder 1, goes on the top of the fraction. The divisor goes on the bottom of the fraction. Okay, let's clear that. Clear all my drawings. Get rid of that, and just have a look at the next one. Remember, we did this. All right, and again, we've got the same thing. It's remainder 1. So we know already what's going to be on the top of our fraction. What's going to be on the bottom of our fraction? Hopefully, you're shouting 6. Okay, so you should be able to tell me what the fraction is, what the answer to this question is. We're going to do my nice drawing again. It's 230. We've got a 1 on the top, and at the bottom of our fraction, we've got our divisor, which is 6. Beautiful. 230 1/6. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today, team, and I really think you should be able to have a good go at this. And there's also some division to do tomorrow, and then I'll do a different video. I'll do another video on day 3 for a different thing that you're doing at the end of the week. I hope you do some really good division. If you're finding this hard, okay, watch this video with your parents if they've got some time and talk through division. This is probably the division method that they know, all right? It's probably chunking that they get confused about. This is something that they might feel a bit more comfortable with. Watch it with them, have a go at do a few with them, and really practice this. This is an important skill to get in before you start year 6 next year. So really have a go at using short division and not writing remainders, but writing fractions. If you want to write both, that's okay. If you want to mix it up a bit and do some remainders, some fractions, but I would like some fractions. And if you get a fraction that you can simplify, simplify it. Again, read the learning reminders. It'll tell you what to do. Good luck. Have fun. Good maths.